Hi. If you're watching this, that means that I directed you to this video, or this is a new post for those of you who are subscribing, or for those of you who just found it by sheer boredom. I wanted to make this in response to some recent comments I got. Now, this is going to be a timeless video. This is not a TFL video, but it is TFL related. So this is just to say, for all of you bullshitters and bullies and hazers and people who are just joking, I'm on to you. I'll figure you out. Whenever I see people who go out of their way to be negative towards me, I'm always going to figure you out. I check out your subscribers, I check out your YouTube accounts, or your Twitch, or your Twitter, or your Facebook, okay? When I did a True Force Loneliness video recently, well, actually last year, about not taking sides, some people felt that I was a hypocrite. That triggered me. When I say I don't take sides in life, I usually mean it. It's based on the fact that my sisters and my mom wanted me to pick a side in my family when my dad was physically abusive. You have to understand that for all of you who think you're better than me, you're not. If you find the time to comment on my videos, or comment on my Instagram, or comment on my Twitter or Facebook, that means you have literally fuck all to do. If you are better than me, you do better than me. You wouldn't sit there and talk about how you're better than me. You wouldn't go through the motions. You do stuff. You shut the fuck up and you do things. The people who are better than me do better than me. They don't have time for me. They got better things to do with their successful life, okay? There's one person who hazed and bullied me when I was in high school, and he, magic poof, magic dust, he became a big star. He's in a television show, a remake of an old classic, and I don't talk to him, and I don't care to talk to him. And it's not about letting things go. It's a matter of justice in the world for me to be successful. And I haven't reached that. I worked hard as a dog to fail. But the guy that in high school never succeeded, never did anything to amount to anything. He was in a gang, but like that, magic dust, he became a big star. That's life. You have to understand that my dad physically abused me. Not sexually, physically. He used the belt, he used the back of his hand, sometimes for things I didn't even do wrong. So I'm already pissed off. I'm already pissed off in general, okay? So, I mean, it started with my dad, and then my sisters, who would fight over each other. Like Cinderella's stepsisters, they would fight over attention. They would fight over who's better than who. They would fight for mom. They would cry for mom's attention. I had problems with my brother, which I deeply regret because, as I said recently, when I saw my brother, he was bruised, and he was pale, and he was dead of AIDS. That was hard. And I regret that. My cousin always grabbed me by the collar and tried to be like Mr. Thug. What's up? Right? He would try to be a tough guy. Kids at school. Kids at school in kindergarten, in the first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth, fifth. I transferred from school to school because I didn't know how to deal with problems, okay? I had coping problems. I had psychologists at school, therapists at school. But I always had people who hazed and bullied me or tried to expose me, okay? I've had people throughout my 42 years. Understand, I'm not your typical, I'm not 30. I'm in my 40s. I was born during the time of disco and 70s shows being rerun, and old black and white TV still being cheap as opposed to color. Old stores like Zodi's and the Federated Group and Time Out 80s Arcade and 70s spaceship video games and stuff. I was born in a very different time. So I've had my share of people being rude to me, whether it was my aunt, whether it was my mom, my mom being verbally abusive for me not doing enough by her. My dad. I think I told you the time when my mom hugged me, which was about a couple of months ago. I just felt nothing. I was already angry. My sister's fighting. Now that transferred over to me not being successful. That's transferred over to me not being able to get a job. I can't blame my family for the adult decisions I made as an adult, but they do share a blame for me never having the successful things in life, the successful opportunities. That's in part their fault because of the way they raised me, because of the way they raised all of us. They raised all of us to spite one another. So, to the here and now, when I see somebody making comments and then trying to give me emojis or stickers or hey, let's be cool, okay? I don't need that from you. What I need is for people to understand why I post these things. Now, there are two people online who I've never met in person who can get away with being snarky, but it's passive aggressive. They're friends and we're cool with each other. One is Dreamcast84, who I've not seen in a while. I make up jokes that he died of the coronavirus, but he's a cool person. He's got family, personal issues to deal with. He's got his job issues to deal with. I don't think he's ever said his real name online, but I'll withhold that until I get his okay. But I call him Dreamcast84. The other person's Kali UK, and he's got way more subscribers than Dreamcast and me, but he's cool. He jokes around a lot, but the man, he's got beautiful children, stepchildren. I'm not sure if he's with someone in a relationship right now, but he's got a job, kind of a dead-end job in the UK. It's hard. Those two people are okay. Other people, it's all trial and error, okay? But when you attack, for those of you who I'm addressing to, if you feel attacking me is to make yourself feel better, you're not going to get anywhere. You don't control me. You don't control my channel. Furthermore, and this is hypothetical, if you are my sisters, particularly my youngest sister, born in the 70s, if you're my cousins, if you're any family member catfishing as somebody on social media, I'm going to find out. I'm not going to have that with you. You don't control me. I don't control you. You're adult. I'm an adult. My family has gotten to the point where we cannot push anybody around anymore. Our children, and I say our children, I mean my nieces, their children, my nieces and nephews, they're adults. So you don't control them. They have their own kids. They have their own things. We do not tell people what to do. We don't use the fists and we don't beat up people. We don't hurt people. We respect people. Now, if somebody threatens you, then you have a point to make. But until then, you just shut the fuck up and enjoy what you can. If you don't like my channel, if you don't enjoy it, you can go somewhere else. All right? That's the way it is. Other things. There are times where I talk tough to true force loners. I say, you got to wake the fuck up. You got to shut the fuck up and do what you got to do. You got to go and do what you got to do. There are times where I'm tough with you guys. But there are times where I'm not as tough. I'm not going to be like your mama and hold your little hand all the time. And I'm not going to be like my dad and beat you up for no good reason. I'm sort of in the middle. As a male, I give tough love, and with some feminine qualities, I say, hey, it's okay to feel this way. I show some compassion. I'm sort of like Captain Kirk, when he became two different people, when he's angry here and he's compassionate here. I'm like that, the two different Captain Kirks, okay? That's who I am. And so I can be aggressive at times and I can be soft at times, but that's all me telling you that when you're alone in life, it's related to how many friends you have, if you have a good family, are you able to have a good job that you really enjoy, that you never have to work a day in your life? All those things are related to getting to TFL. They're all related. Because if you have good background, getting a female is not a real problem. It can be a hindrance and it can be an annoyance. But as long as you have a good background in your life, that's all that matters. That's what really matters. Then the girl will come because you have this wonderful, great group of people. But when I say when there's a TFL moment, and when I narcissistically, yes, redefined TFL as being more than just alone, without girls, it's not having those things in life that you should have had some entitlement to. I guess what a lot of people say is nobody's entitled to rewards, but nobody's entitled to punishments either. Yet we either get one or the other. And I've been punished my whole life. You with your comments, you with your tweets, you with your Facebook posts back to me, or you with your Instagram responses or TikTok responses. I'm not impressed. I don't care. But you are not going to hijack me or my channel. Stalking me doesn't help. What you need to do is you need to listen and understand where I'm coming from and why I do what I do. The main reason I don't have friends isn't because I'm an asshole. Oh, maybe you shouldn't talk that way. That's why you don't have friends. No, I don't have friends because people like you presume too much. You presume you know me and you don't know fuck all about me. You don't know the first thing about me. And if you do know enough about me, you know that I don't like to be feel like harassed or stalked or threatened. I used to, when I was in my 20s, I used to stalk females because they weren't always honest with me. And that almost got me in a lot of trouble. That was a stupid thing to do. I did stupid things like stalk females on college campuses. And because of that, I say, no, you cannot do that. I mean, you can't get away with stuff like that. It's, you go to jail. Okay? So maybe some of this is comeuppance for me, but also too, I understand what I did wrong, and you have to understand. I can tell by your comments, you're young, you're immature, you haven't gone through life's battle scars yet. When you do, then you can come back and talk to me. If you've got some screws loose like that person for Twitch, the one that likes to eat grass as a deer, okay, if you've got some screws loose, there's nothing to help you at all. There's nothing I can do for you. So I'm going to go mail an important letter, or whatever I have to do in life, and move on. And when I come back to doing more videos, it's going to be something that is going to be relevant to all of you. Remember, being true, force, and alone isn't just about not having a girl in your life. It's about all the things that keep you afloat. You don't have most of those things. I know most of you don't. You don't have a good family. You don't have good friends. You don't have a good job. You don't have good acquaintances to help you get there, to help you get higher. And it's not about the fame and the glory. It's about just getting a fraction of that, just to have enough. And you don't have enough, and you're scared of being homeless and out in the street because of those things, and not having a woman to love you, or a man, whatever you're into. But that's what needs to happen, is that we need to stop with the shit. And part of the reason I'm saying this is because of what Danny Ramirez, Star Wars Theory, he had somebody harass him on Twitter. While my situation may not be that bad, or it may, I feel that before it even gets to that Danny Ramirez harassment level, I want to address this now so that this doesn't happen again. And anybody that has a problem with me, libel and slander. If you think I've committed a crime, you better damn well prove it. If you think that I have attacked you in grade school or in elementary school or something I've done, we can talk about it in private. If you're a family member, stop catfishing. Live your own life. I let you live your own life. You let me live my own life. That's it. Take care.